Everybody, this is your boy DrkBLADExx at Dark Enforcers Gaming Network, aka Black Hawk Division Leader for DCUO. What's going on? What's good with you, pimpin'? Let's get it. As you guys see the title of the video, this is the 7th anniversary event, Attack of the Anti-Monitor Time Dilation feat. This is the long, detailed version, guys. So if you guys want the short, kind of quick 13-minute video, look in the description below for that link. Also, if you guys want any other feats from this season, though, look in the description below for that link too. Remember, this is the long, detailed version, so it's going to be long. If you guys don't want to sit here and watch this, go check out the other versions, link in the description. But if you guys want detailed step-by-step, aka the blueprints of how to get this feat, listen and enjoy. Alright guys, first thing I want to say is, you've been warned. This is going to be a little long-winded. That's because I'm trying to give you guys a lot of information. Basically, everybody's different. We don't all have the same gear. We don't all have the same weapons. We don't all have the same loadouts. We don't all have the same mods. We don't all have the same trinkets. There's a lot of stuff we don't have. We're not all the same. With that being said, I'm trying to say, hey, have some of the stuff, and you should be good. I'm going to try to point out every single thing you could possibly have that will make this feat work for you. So with that being said, prepare for this to be long-winded. Another thing, guys, I will let you guys know if there's something that you must have. I'm talking about must have. Like, if you don't got this, don't even try the feat. Just give it up. Don't even queue up. If you going for this feat and you don't have this, don't even queue up. And I will let you know by flashing this symbol right here on the screen. When you see that, that means you need this. Alright, I'll flash that symbol. If you see one of them, that means, hey, somebody needs to have it. If you see two of them, that means everybody who's trying to go for this feat needs to have it. Alright, let's move on. When it comes to your group makeup, I'm gonna let you guys do whatever you want. Of course, I got suggestions, but for the most part, take from this video what you will. I'm gonna tell you guys a lot of stuff. Maybe you guys will look at this video and say, okay, well, we're gonna try this, but we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a lot of stuff, so put together whatever you can. I hope this helps you out. It should. If you follow this video perfectly, this is what I'm gonna say. If you follow this video perfectly, once your group absolutely gets the full strategy memorized and actually puts it into practice, which might take maybe 2 or 3 or 4 tries, you will get this feat, I guarantee. Guarantee. Alright, but with that being said, take from this what you will, do your own thing. Alright, so as far as your group, this is what we did. I've done this feat on multiple characters. I have almost 40 characters. Okay, I'm a little bit short of that, but only a little bit short. But it just tells you how many characters I got. Alright, so I've done this on multiple characters. I don't feat unlock this feat. It's such an easy feat. I can go in here with any group. I've done this with league mates. I've done this with friends. I've done this with ally league, leagues that my league is cool with. And I just go in here and we like, okay, on this day we're going to get this feat. Wait two more days, just go back, get the feat again. You know what I'm saying? I just get this feat on multiple characters. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay. With that being said, I go in here. We have usually 7 DPSs and 1 healer. With this strategy, there's no need for a tank. With this strategy, there's no need for a troll. Now, keep in mind, when I go in here and help people out, everybody usually has good power management. That's DPSs, and that's also the healer. Good power management. They can manage their own power. Occasionally, maybe they need to take a soda. All right. If you need to have a troll in your group, that's cool. That does not mess up the strategy. If you need to have a tank in your group, that's also cool. That does not mess up the strategy. You can have them both in your group. This will not mess up the strategy. That's because of the nature of this place. It's a scaled event, so you really can't mess up the strategy. At least the way I'm telling it. So your group makeup can be whatever you want. The biggest factor in getting the feat are the qwa-bombs or q-bombs, whatever you want to call it. These are super important. If your group is not using these, you are not getting the speed feat, period. Hell, you might not get a lot of feats inside the raid, but you're definitely not getting the speed feat. What this does is it takes away 40% of the remaining health of whatever you draw it at. Now, keep in mind, this has 0 effect on the anti-monitor and 0 effect on the giant shadow demons, but this is the raid, so we're really just worried about stuff inside there. So, no effect on the anti-monitor, but this affects the Cordians, the smaller shadow demons, and the antimatter shards, which we're using them on. So if everybody in your group is using these and they're drawing it at the same shard, this will obliterate the health bar of the shard instantly. Now, this won't kill it. It's not strong enough to kill it. You're going to have to, tap the range button for your weapon or use a power to get rid of it. But it will take down the health bar so small that you can barely see it, which is why it's OP, and that's why we're using it for this feat. Now, you can get these from the solo instance, from doing open world missions, from the raid itself, or pick it up in the seasonal vendor. For 2 crowns, you can get a pack of 12. You want everybody to have about 20 to 30 of these. Once again, super important. If you don't have them, you're not getting the feat. Right, these are the exobyte interference shields. They are also very important, almost as important as the qwa-bombs. However, only one person needs to activate them, so you don't all have to have it in your loadout. What this is this is an 8-man shield. One person uses it, we all get the effect. This will cancel out the CC effects of most of the CC in the area, and also cancel out the respective CC damage that also comes from being affected by the CC. If you guys don't know what it looks like, I'm going to post a little clip of it right now. This is the effect that you want. It looks like a spear of mini bubbles around you. This is the effect that you want up constantly. Whenever it's not up, put it up. You want this on from the very start of the battle to the end of the raid. Okay? This will cancel out a lot of the interference in the room. Not all CC effects, but most of them. Right? So the most noticeable CC effects that it cancels out is when you're fighting the anti-monitor and he stomps the ground, knocking you back, stopping your rotations and damage. This will stop that from happening. This will also stop when he does a fist pump into the air and a purple beam from his fist hits a few of your teammates, lifting up into the air and then doing a massive shot damage, which is sometimes a one-shot. This will now cancel that out, which is why it's so important to keep it up always. Alright, now here's something else that you guys also need. At least 5 people, well, maybe 4, but I want to say 5. At least 5 people need to have these maxed out for a strategy. Tactical mods, backups, henchmen, orbital strikes, and supply drops. Now, sidekicks and accomplices are not really necessary, but if that's all you have, okay, just use that. Just use that. We're using any means we can to get this feat, so use those. But these are my top suggestions. Tactical mods, backups, henchmen, orbital strikes, supply drops. Maxed out. Now, when it comes to tactical mods, these are what I mean. The ones you get from your base, aka home turf or the layer system. Just the regular ones. Weapons, neck, back, chest, hands, feet. Just the basic ones. Now, head and legs are nice, but they're not necessary to this feat. They're not that important. Just the basic ones. Those are what's important. Okay, right now I'm going to show you guys some honorable mentions for things you could be using besides my recommendations, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But right now I just want to stop here and talk about this. This is a utility belt. If you don't have a utility belt at all, this is good to have. This comes from Halloween. Not only is it just a utility belt that you can put anything into, it really is more effective if you have boos in it. This will let you summon all 4 boos at the same time, or as many boos as you have. Now, depending on what boo you have, boos will panic your enemies, stun your enemies, teleport your enemies away from you, and give you a shield, depending on which boo you have. But no matter what boo it is, all your boos attack your enemies, which is why it's so good to have. Right? So, if nothing else, it's really just a utility belt. But if you have your boos, good to have it, unless you have better options. Now, let me just go ahead and post some options on the screen for what you can put inside your utility belt. Now, this is only about things that you would put inside your utility belt, or your just trinket slot if you don't have access to anything else. Alright. So these are just honorable mentions. Now, keep in mind when it comes to seasonal items, seasonal trinkets, only one seasonal item works at a time, so you can't pop them all at the same time. It won't work. They all share the same cooldown. And one last thing. This, what I'm about to show you, is something that you should not use whatsoever. Nobody in your team should have this in their utility belts, or even, I mean, unless you just don't have anything else, period. Okay, but put it this way. This is useless to use. When you're in a scaled event, whether you're being scaled up or scaled down, you are set to certain stats. Certain flat stats. What this is a stat trinket. This increases your stats. However, in a scaled event, as soon as you use this, nothing happens because you are set and fixed to a flat stat. This is useless, absolutely useless. The only things that work are things that increase your damage by a percentage. Not your stats by a percentage, but your stats, such as effects like damaging, healing, defense, things like that. Alright, I hope that helps you guys out. Now let's get over to my recommendations. This is what I'm rocking on my characters every time I go in here. This is what I'm telling my crew, my group, to have too as well. Now, not everything here is necessary for every single person in your group, but some are necessary for most. First, we'll talk about things that are absolutely necessary. Okay, as you guys see, I don't have a soda. I do not have a soda, and I don't care about having a soda. The only person who really needs to have a soda is the healer, aka the support role. If you guys got support roles, yeah, maybe have them a soda. Unless they're really good at managing their own power, then they don't need it. Put something else there that's more effective for this feat. Okay, as you guys see in the soda slot, I have my bombs there. This is the most important thing you could have towards getting this feat. I want to say at least 6 of you need to have bombs. At least 6. Maybe you can do it 5. Maybe even 4. But I want to say at least 6 of you need to have these bombs. At least 6 of you. Now, if you don't have a utility belt and you just have the trinket slot and just the consumable slot, once again, the most important thing to have is the bomb. So put that there. Don't worry about your soda. Please don't worry about your soda. Because with our strategy, you're not really taking any damage besides when you're getting attacked by the anti-monitor. That's it. And you got the healer for that, right? So, the most important thing to have is the bombs. Bombs. Everybody should have about 20 to 30 of these. Every single person should have about 20 to 30 of these. Now, give and take, you know, because like I said earlier, you could probably just have 6 people who are trying to get the feed and just pug the other 2 and don't even tell them about it and still get the feed. But those 6 people need to have bombs, okay? That's a must. That is a must. If everybody has bombs, you're good. But at least 6 people need to have the bombs. Alright, let's move on. We're talking about the shields now. Not everybody needs to put the shields into their slots, into their utility belts, or even their trinket slot. Not everybody needs to have that, okay? This is a consumable, so keep that in mind. It's not a trinket, so it's a consumable. But not everybody needs to have it. As long as at least one person on your group or more has it, you're good to go. When everybody casts it, you guys all get the effect. As I said earlier, you want to have this effect on your character from the start of the fight to the end of the fight. Just so you guys don't get CC'd as much. You're still going to get CC'd, but as long as you're not being drawn around constantly non-stop and can't even act or move or think, you should be good. I want to recommend having at least 15 of these. Like, whoever wants to have these, have at least 15 of them. And keep them up. Keep them up. If you don't see the effect, cast it again, okay? Somebody in your group, if not everybody, needs to have those. Next, I want to talk about the backup and also the henchmen. Same thing. Same exact thing. Backups, henchmen, same thing. These do a lot of damage. You definitely, like, if you can put those into your utility belt, great. Okay? If you can put those into your utility belt, great. Definitely, it's a good thing. Not everybody needs to have them, okay? Not everybody needs to have them. I want to say at least 4 or more people. Really want to say 5, but as long as a few people have them, you're good, okay? You are good. Same thing with supply drop. Not everybody needs to have this because you can just stand inside of it. So not everybody needs to have this. This is going to be useful for our strategy later, right? Not everybody needs to have it. As long as you're able to stand inside it, someone can just walk inside somebody else's and you're good to go. You don't really need to have it. Now, this is the orbital strike. I want to say at least 5 or more people need to have orbital strike. This is really important. This is almost as important as the bombs. This is going to take away a lot of damage, okay? So you need to have this. This is something that's really important. If you don't have it, that's okay. Not everybody has to have it, but at least a lot need to have it. Right, these are my recommendations. I hope this helps you out. Now let's actually talk about the strategy. Sorry for taking almost 20 minutes, but yeah, like I said, long-winded. Thank you guys for making it this far into the video. We will now talk about the strategy used to get this speed feat. This raid can be broken down into 4 phases. The first phase, defeat the shards. The second phase, fight the anti-monitor. The third phase, defeat the shadow demons. And the fourth phase, defeat the anti-monitor. I'm going to be showing you guys the strategy to do all 4 phases in record time. Keep in mind, qwa-bombs are super necessary. Okay, so when you guys first come in here, the first thing you're going to do is defeat the shard just like the one that's down there. Let's change venues a little bit. Okay, so this is a map of the place without the anti-monitor in, of course, but this is a map right here that shows you kind of like the area of the thing. Now, over here there's a little cave that you guys come into. I'm going to show you guys a little icon on the screen in a couple seconds. This is pretty much the cave where you guys come in from. So with that being said, this side of the map is the north side, and this side of the map over there is the south side. So let's split it up real quick. I'm going to draw something on the screen. Okay, so we have north side, south side. When you first come in here, the first thing you need to do is find the shards. Don't look for anti-monitor. Do not attack him. It's useless to attack him. He can't take damage. You need to take away the anti-matter shards so that you can actually start hurting him. So with that being said, you have to have a team split up. One team on the north side, one team on the south side. Alright, so let's do that. Okay, so this is a strategy. Let's split maps real quick. Alright, so we have north side and south side. Team A is going to be on the north, Team B is going to be in the south. Split your team up evenly. You don't want to have all DPSs on one side and none on the other side, okay? Split them up evenly. Like, for my recommendation was just a healer and the rest DPS, right? So, one team has all DPSs while the other team will have just 3 DPSs and a healer. However, my recommendation is, in the very first part of this fight, have your healer be a DPS. Yes. Wait until you actually fight the anti-monitor the first time before he turns to a healer. Yes. So you would have all 8 DPSs. So 4 people to a team. Team A patrols all the shards in the north. Team B patrols all the shards in the south. All 8 DPSs. Boom. Alright, so this is a strategy. When you first come in here, don't attack anything. Don't do anything. Just get into position. Team A goes to the north, away from enemies. Do not attack them. Team B goes to the south, away from enemies. You do not attack them. Identify which side has the shard, okay? Now, once you guys identify which side has a shard, get into position. No one does anything. Keep in mind this. The speed feat does not start until either your team takes damage or your team attacks the enemy. Right? So that being said, you guys have time to actually set up your stuff. So, once you guys are ready, begin your attack. Now, this is how you attack. This is how you do it. You start with your bombs. Everybody on your team throws a bomb at the shard. After that, you guys go through your rotations. As soon as the bomb comes off cooldown, you throw another bomb. You want to keep those bombs constantly going off. I don't care what health you see the shard at. Don't worry about health. Don't worry about that at all. Just constantly keep throwing those bombs. You want those qwa-bombs on cooldown constantly. Just keep throwing them off. Using this strategy, you will melt not just the shards, but the adds around the shards instantly. Instantly. And you can go from one shard to the next shard to the next shard. As your group goes around defeating shard and doing damage to a shard, you will start noticing other shards popping up one after another. Around the time that your team defeats the 6th shard, the last remaining 3 shards will pop up. So just keep doing that over and over again. Once your team gets to the very last shard, Team A and Team B reform together and take out that shard together. Right? Remember to keep your qwa-bombs on cooldown. If you guys can do this correctly, congratulations, you just got one of the feats in the raid. Let's move on. Alright, so the second phase is now the phase where we fight the anti-monitor. This will be very important. Please listen carefully. Alright, so as soon as the fighting begins, this is also where your shields are super important. Someone pops the shields, making sure that they're up. Remember to keep them constantly up from the time you do the shards all the way to the cutscene at the end of the raid. Someone pops the shields, make sure they're up. Once that happens, rush straight over to the anti-monitor. You want to be right under him. The reason for that is the closer you are to him, the more damage you do, as you guys should know by now. So the first thing you do is get as close to him as you can. With the shields up, he shouldn't be able to knock you back. Now, the person in your group that can go to a healer, you know how I said earlier everyone should be DPS? That one person now turns into a healer and stays the healer for the rest of the raid. Right? To stay a healer. Alright? Now, also, while you guys are all up on him, This is where you release your backups, your henchmen, or if you have them sidekicks or accomplices, or any type of trinket or pet you guys have. Release them on him. All at the same time, don't worry, it works. However, do not use your supply drops. Do not use your supply drops. We are saving those for later. Now this is very important. We're going to use orbital strikes, but we're going to use them in a certain way. Super important. Do not drop all your orbital strikes at the same time. If you do so, you cancel out the orbital strikes. If everybody in your group drops them at the same time, only one will hit for damage and the other ones will not count for damage whatsoever. Have one person in your group call out who's dropping what. Have like a team leader. That person says this person drops their orbital strike and then that person drops it. As soon as the animation is over, the team leader calls for the next person to drop the orbital strikes. Then you wait for that animation to finally end, and then the team leader calls for the next person to drop the orbital strike, and you just keep doing that over and over and over. The goal is to get his health bar down to the O in anti-monitor, like it is right here on the screen right here. You see that? You want it right there. At that point, now phase 3 will begin. This is the hardest phase to learn how to do, okay? I'm going to show you the way that my team does it for the strategy, okay? As I said earlier, tanks are not required, but if you want a tank, go ahead. For this strategy, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys what to do. Listen closely. Alright, if you guys have seen my feat video, holding the line with bonus feat, shadow slaying, this is exactly it. Exactly it. We're going to speed things up a little bit, but this is pretty much exactly the same thing. Okay, so as you guys know, the anti-monitor, when you're fighting him, doesn't actually stand in the center of the room. He stands off to the side, so he's going to be standing right about here. Actually, when you're in the raid. So we're going to form a center around the gray area, not actually around him at all. So you and your group should be standing along this line, which is right between where the gray area meets the dirt, right about here-ish. So right along this circle, I guess you could say. Right. So what you want to do with your group is you want to space out evenly. Have all 8 people on that line facing outwards. So right like this. Yeah, all 8 people. Okay, so space out evenly so that you guys can cover an equal amount of area in front of you looking out. Now, not everybody's going to be team DPS. I know that. So like with our group, we have, you know, all DPSs and a healer. Some groups will have trolls, some groups will have tanks. That's just how they want to do their stuff. That's cool. With that being said, if you want to do that for this part of the feat, you're going to need to make sure that you don't have support roles standing next to each other. You see, it's all about killing shadow demons as fast as possible. When support roles are standing next to each other, it slows down the damage. So, if you wish to have support roles in your group, make sure that on both sides of the support role, there is always a DPS there. So for instance, let's turn some of these into support roles just for the heck of it. So, let's put up, you know, a troll, healer, and a tank. So for instance, we'll just throw 3 support roles in there. Right, spaced out evenly. No matter where it's at, there is a DPS on both sides of the support role. Alright. So now that we got our space out evenly, this is what you're going to do. You're going to face forward and wait for the shadow demons to come to you. Yes, wait for them to come to you. Do not go to them. You don't want to create gaps in this circle. As soon as you create a gap in the circle, you best believe a shadow demon is going to spawn and walk right through it and get absorbed by anti-monitor. So stay put, wait for them to come to you. Yes, wait for them to come to you. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to throw your bomb at the shadow demon. Your bomb is powerful enough to not only turn it around when it instantly hits him, he will actually walk several feet away before he even thinks about turning around to walk back towards you. That's how powerful it is. So first thing you're going to do is throw your bomb at it and then do your rotations. So this part actually suits more of a range fighter than a melee fighter. But I digress. This is actually what you're going to do. You're going to draw your bomb and then go through your rotations of doing damage to him. If you have to do melee, then you have to do melee. But try not to move too far away from your spot while you're trying to fight him. Remember, he's not going to like run away. He's going to walk away. So that gives melee fighters even time to even attack. But as I said, try to stay in your area. Don't move around, try to cover everybody else's area. Because remember, they should be doing their job just like you. If you need to, in your spot while you're staying there, turn to your left, draw a bomb at a Shadow Demon you see on your left side, or draw a bomb to a Shadow Demon you see on your right side. But try to stay in your area, because remember, if you leave your area, who's covering it for you? Alright? Try to stay put and shoot outwards towards anything that come towards your area. Alright, now with that being said, with this strategy, you should be able to pass it quite fast and quite easily. However, keep in mind this. This, just like with the shards part, is a luck-based feat. So this right here is really about luck, per se. And that's because, just like with the shards, you could have Shadow Demons spawn anywhere in here. You could be lucky enough to have them spawn kind of far away so that they're not on top of the anti-monitor and you have time to get rid of them. Or you could be really, really unlucky and have them spawn near the anti-monitor or even on top of the anti-monitor, which means there is no time to do any attacks whatsoever. It's instantly absorbed. Yeah, this turns into a luck-based feat, but kind of sucks. Sometimes it's really just, did you queue good or did you queue bad? Yeah. You can do everything right, and you may just have to just queue it over and hope you get a good queue. You know, it kind of sucks. But it's very doable. Don't give up and just keep working at it. Now, another thing I want to say is, we're only going to be using bombs in our rotations, nothing else. You're going to save everything else for the next part. And don't worry if one gets absorbed. That's okay. This strategy allows for only one to get absorbed, but no more than that. You don't want to have more than that, really. Maybe two, but nothing more than that, because every time you let one get absorbed, it takes that much longer for the next one to show up. And you really need all the time you can cut down to get the speed. Last but not least, remember to keep your shields up. Remember, you are standing next to the anti-monitor. There's going to be a lot of CC effects going off because of him. He's going to try to knock you back in a way so that he can absorb the Shadow Demons. Not only is that, the environment itself will try to attack you too. There's going to be pillars of light popping up constantly, knocking you away. You want to make sure you have those shields on so that you can cancel out that effect. You do not want to be knocked away when you're supposed to stop a Shadow Demon and it gets past you because you got blown away. Please keep those shields up. They don't stop all CC effects, but they stop most of them. Alright, let's move on to the last part. Defeating the anti-monitor. This is phase 4 of the last phase. Okay guys, you see at the top of our screen, we just started the very last fight, and this health bar is still at the O and monitor. This is going to be a quick fight, instantly. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. Alright guys, so you guys are, as soon as the battle starts, you're going to pop your shields so that you know that you can get there without being knocked back, and you're going to rush the anti-monitor. Get as close to him as possible. Stand right directly on him. Once that happens, somebody in your group, or a few people, it doesn't matter, should release their supply drops and have team members run through them or stand inside them. This is going to give you a damage boost. Now remember, that's only boosts your damage if you have your supply drop fully maxed out. If that's the case, congratulations, you're going to beat this super fast. Now guys, you're going to stand in your supply drop, get yourself fully maxed out. If anybody has any type of supercharges that do damage, now is the time to release them. Now, anytime that your backups, sidekicks, henchmen, associates, anything, pets, trinkets, anytime any of those come off cooldown, release them again at the anti-monitor. And also, if you have time, you probably don't have time because you'll die so quickly, but just if your orbital strikes come off cooldown, just release them automatically. Because of how we release our orbital strikes in order one after another, they should not have a chance to overlap any other orbital strike, provided that everybody notices when their orbital strike is off cooldown and instantly releases it. With this strategy, the anti-monitor should burn in a matter of seconds. That's right, his health should just go straight to 0 in a matter of seconds. Guys, if you do all this right and it works out for you guys, congratulations. Not only have you got the speed feat, you will have gotten every single feat in this raid in one run. Congratulations. Alright guys, I hope this helps you out. Remember, because of the Shadow Demon part and because of the Shards part, this really becomes a luck type of base feat. Sometimes you just didn't get the good queue, you gotta queue again just to make sure that the Shards form right, or that the Shadow Demons come at you right. Sometimes it's just about having the good queue. Also remember guys, patience, patience, patience. It's going to take your team time to get this strategy down packed. So you're not going to get it on the first try, probably not in the second try. About the third or fourth time, your team will understand the strategy and get it down packed. So just take your time and you will get this feat. Alright guys, this is pretty much the end of the video guys. Thank you guys for watching the video. However, I will leave a clip of us actually doing everything I just talked about right now. Enjoy.
The anti-monitor has our two worlds colliding, creating some kind of parallel reality between us and the anti-magic universe.
And you're in the wrong one. You're in the T1 version of that. You're supposed to be in the T2 version of that.
Oh, Johnny, we get to play with the goody two-shoes.
Yeah, you just gotta go to the teleporter. The teleporter. That should be back. Yeah, the way that you're going on the top of those two beam looking things. Some tank looking beam things. Dude, yo, over there. No, the other side. Right on the top. It's up, right there.
Long have I searched for a universe
That's how you get
like this. One that I do not just consume once, but infinitely.
Let's go.
They don't get too close to the enemies,
An
though.
endless source of energy inexorably drawing me here. This universe is mine to devour. Mine forever.
Looks like the A-team will
Yeah?
the anti-monitor. B-team, you destroy the antimatter shards. That should weaken him just enough.
We're all on one team, calculator. Either that or we end up on
Charge.
dinner plate. Got it?
Yeah, it's the other one. Not the one that you're trying to go to is the one below it. Yes, there you go. That one.
I expected more from this world.
Oh, it's spawned right on me. Oh, man.
God, it's hard for me to fly over there. It's like,
Good job, gang. Taking down those shards and weakening the anti-monitor's shield. Now get over there and wipe that smug look off his oversized
Try to get up on him. Alright, let's see. Blackie, orbital strike. Nine now.
I bring back the bell?
Next is
yes.
orbital strike.
Okay.
Next, let's see. Lexi, orbital strike. Oh, you just did that. Okay, horseman, orbital strike.
Yeah, I already did mine.
Oh, damn. Okay. How about a fist?
I have mine. Okay. Call me. All right. Yay.
Yep. Okay, orbital. There we go. Yep, did it.
Your efforts are in vain.
Okay, go to my spot.
Devour this planet for eternity.
Sweets was next to me. My baby over there. Okay, yep.
Those shadow demons aren't helping the situation.
Oh, crap.
Stop them from reaching the
No.
anti-monitor,
Gotta keep them shields
or
up.
it's going to get ugly.
What's going on over there? One minute. Who did that?
4-1, we can't afford. No. Try to keep your shields up. That will stop some of the explosions. Okay, not all, but some. stuff on cooldown. Keep that in mind. Yeah, about there. Only one's got through, so we got this. Alright, we're gonna get close. Orbital strikes. If you guys got any sidekicks that are off cooldown or anything like that, release them. And if you got superchargers, unleash them too.
You're gonna regret that.
Orbital strike comes off cooldown, release it. Same thing with your sidekicks, associated henchmen.
But that's not a bad idea.
Detect a hint of jealousy.
Supply drop on Grit.
You're going down.
Nice.
Now there's no demons to go in.
Get him.
Then I'm done.
No!
This is how we do it.
Or your universe. I shall make you all suffer.
Well, it sort of worked.
So you just gotta get used to the strategy, then everything's gravy.
I've calculated
Also, by looking at
data
the
from the
board, you
breach.
can see if everything worked out or not.
But we shouldn't have to worry about Mr. Wally.
Mostly, it tells you if someone was losing bombs or if somebody wasn't. It looks like everybody was using
Not
bombs.
to
We're good.
inflate his ego even further, but
I just need to not let any get in at all, and then I'll...
Thank you guys for making it through this extremely long video. I didn't want it to be over 30 minutes, but we didn't even get to the gameplay until 30 minutes. I apologize. However, I did let you guys know in advance that this was the detailed version, that things are going to be kind of long-winded. So yeah, it is what it is. Although I do want to tell you guys that even when you guys follow everything I teach you in this video, it does turn into somewhat of a luck-based feat. Remember, as I said earlier, there are two parts of the raid where it's almost based on luck. Where the shards pop up so that you can defeat them fast, and also where the demons pop up so that you can defeat them fast. Those are the only two parts that are luck-based. If you guys don't get it, it might be because of those two parts. You might just need to keep requeuing until you get a good queue, unfortunately. Anyway guys, I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe. If you guys have any comments or anything like that you guys want to leave for me or for other viewers, please leave them in the comment section below. If it's for me, I'll get back to you guys. I'm trying to put out a lot of videos. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something special because, like I said, I had done this so many times with different characters, with different players. I'm going to just put all those videos out here. So I will be releasing a couple of feat runs of the speed feat, showing you that this does work, because I've done it with several different characters and with several different people. So I'm just going to put those on here. Why not? Anyway guys, look out for those videos, look out for other videos, guys. I'm not going to stop, man. I'm keep doing this, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you guys get a chance, check out our website at DrkBLADExx.com. Also, check out our other website, OSIF Apparel, which I think has been turned into Spawn Point Apparel. Check out that, man. We're doing a lot of big things. Check out OSIF.com, too, if you guys get a chance. And also, check out our other YouTube page, OSIF. Also, guys, big shout out to our other teammate, Black Onibaka. Check out his YouTube channel, guys. He has really, really good content on there. Alright, guys, gotta get out of here, man. Thanks for watching this video. This is your boy, DrkBLADExx at Dark Enforcers Gaming Network, a.k.a. Black Hawk, Division Leader for DCUO. Dark Enforcers, Darkness Rises, holla.